Okay, so in this video, I'm going to log in remotely to one of my Loxone clients' systems to solve a heating fault and talk you through kind of what I'm doing. Let's get into it. Okay, so I've just had an email from one of my Loxone clients. This project's almost finished. I've just got to go back and do one final optimization and final programming visit. And anyway, I spent 3 days on site. There was a lot of rewiring that had to be done. The electrical contractor messed a few things up. Long story, doesn't matter. Anyway, I wasn't on site long enough to test absolutely everything. So there's a few things that have come up around hot water heating that the client now wants me to dial in and have a look at and see if I can fix. So I've actually already done this, but I just want to go through it again and show you guys sort of how I approach it and what it is. So first of all, I'm going to log in remotely. So I'm going to open up a version of Loxone config, and I keep all my versions of config in here depending on what version the mini server has running. I don't want to ever do updates remotely, so I just log in with the same version use the same version software remotely that the client has on site, the version of the mini server the client has on site. So let's try 13.7 to start with. And I'm going to connect, and I'm going to connect manually, and then all the credentials are in there. Okay, so I've dialed in, but it's saying that basically what they're saying is firmware version on the mini server is a minimum of 14.7. So I'm going to OK that, but nothing loads up. So I need that version of software to log in ultimately. I didn't want to do that update that it mentioned, so I'm going to go out, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to then download, if I haven't already got it, but I have got it, the latest version. So let's open up the latest version. So what the client's saying is that the domestic hot water and the towel rails aren't working as expected, but they've only just noticed it now due to the warmer weather, because they were using the central heating at the same time as the domestic hot water and the towel rails. But now, because they're not using the central heating, because it's warmer, we're coming into summer, but they obviously still want towel rails and domestic hot water, they're isolated now. So they're now seeing that the domestic hot water and the towel rails aren't working. So straight away, I'm thinking, well, there's a clue straight away. So towel rails, domestic hot water is working with the central heating. So that gives me a clue straight away in terms of how I'm thinking approaching this issue. So let me continue with what the client's saying. We've only just noticed, due to warmer weather, that unless the general heating is activated, actually, he's given me a clue right there. The domestic hot water schedule does not actually work. The 2-hour boost doesn't work, and I'm sure the immersion is linked to, and I'm not sure the immersion is linked to any UI, so anything within the app. To get hot water, I have to manually set a couple of rooms to a hot temperature to generate demand. Now obviously you shouldn't have to do that. The schedule for the towel rails, the domestic hot water and the boost should all work, as it's been set up and programmed. So let's just have a look at the domestic hot water. And I'm going to jump into live view with manual value adjustment. You've got to be very careful in this mode, because I can actually remotely change, I can override things live on site. So I can actually switch this valve on and off here. I can switch this relay that's going to the boiler domestic hot water input off. So you've got to be very careful when you're in this mode. But what I can see is we've got our domestic hot water schedule that's set up on this schedule block. It's then feeding the valve, so the valve to open. So the valve opens, then obviously I know how this is all wired, but then the valve, when it's open, That then sends a signal back on its normally open contact to then trigger the boiler domestic hot water. Now there's two inputs on the boiler, one for central heating and one for domestic hot water. So currently that's what we're using to bring on the domestic hot water. You see Q2, boiler domestic hot water, so that's actually, in terms of the wiring from this relay, that's going into the boiler domestic hot water input or terminal. So that's all working as I'd expect. Schedule, opens the valve. When the valve's open, that then sends the signal to the boiler to switch on. And in terms of the pump, I think the pump from the boiler is all that's feeding the domestic hot water. Now let me show you the signal for the central heating. So over here, boiler CH, so relay 1, Q1. So basically when this climate controller, I'm not going to get into the details of the climate controller, but basically when there's demand for the boiler to switch on in terms of the central heating, i.e. the rooms are cold, that will then switch on this signal here. And then this relay is then wired to boiler central heating input or terminal, and then that fires up the boiler and then pumps around hot water. So that's not on at the moment, but we can see that the domestic hot water is on. So they should be having hot water right now, but they're not. And I know, and this is hard to work out from just seeing this, actually before I go into that, so in terms of like the fault finding the issue, so everything looks as though it's working as it should in Loxone on the PLC side in terms of the logic and the controls. So that leads that the next thing is to look at the boiler. So let's just imagine we've got to assume, and assumption is the mother of all ups, you know. So we've got to assume that everything is wired correctly, okay? That would be the next thing to look at, but we've got to assume that that's okay. So then the next thing after that is the boiler. Like, is the boiler receiving this signal? Now, I'll tell you what I know. Because this boiler's it's got two inputs on it, one for the central heating and one for the domestic hot water. We know that the central heating terminal input is working, but the domestic hot water one isn't. Now I'm predicting, and I've said this to the client, I'm predicting that this boiler hasn't been commissioned by the heating engineer to work off this signal here, the second signal for the domestic hot water. It's not that common, certainly in domestic. You normally just have one signal, bring the boiler on, bring the boiler off. But what you can do is, if it's got two signals, you can actually have a lower output of the boiler in terms of heat. So for central heating, and a different one for domestic hot water. So you might have 65 degrees programmed when the boiler receives the domestic hot water signal, and then when it receives the central heating signal, it goes to 40 degrees. So the boiler doesn't have to fire up and use as much energy when we're using it just for central heating. So that's the reasoning behind that. But I'm imagining that the heating engineer hasn't commissioned the boiler to work off this signal. So that's the first thing that I've recommended for the client to do and to look into. So let's just have a quick look in the UI, so the app. So in the central tab we can see domestic hot water schedule. So this is our schedule, and we can set it over here. Entries, 5 AM to 8:30 AM. And we can see that it's just coming out of that schedule in about 15 minutes. But we can see that that's on at the moment, that's enabled, just like we saw in the back end in the programming within the PLC. So that's reflected in the UI. The client also mentioned that the 2-hour or hour hot water boost isn't working. So that makes sense. we can see it in here, and we can switch it on, as you can see here. But if it's not linked to it, well, it's working on the back end, but because we're not programming anything to happen off that domestic hot water signal on the boiler, then of course nothing's gonna work. So it's the same thing ultimately. So the solution is, one, the heating engineer comes out and commissions it to work off that domestic hot water signal. Two, I reprogram it back on this end, or I reprogram it remotely, so the domestic hot water actually switches on, like all the stuff for the domestic hot water actually just switches on the central heating demand going to the boiler, which is common, which is done in a lot of other systems. So those are the two real solutions. As a workaround, what the client can do, if we go to categories, controls, and I've got these in here because the system's not fully commissioned yet. I've got these switches in here for testing, as you can see. So this is like a manual override to switch on boilers, valves, etc, etc. By the way, I'm not going to get into the tail rail stuff because it's too long for this video. But the workaround is the client can just switch on the immersion here, and that will heat up the domestic hot water. Or he can just manually, when we've got the demand for the domestic hot water, as seen here, the client could switch on the boiler manually, the central heating side over here. A bit of a crappy workaround, but that's if he wanted to use the boiler to heat up the domestic hot water rather than the immersion. The simplest thing is for me to just reprogram it. Wouldn't take very long at all. But the right thing, the best of every world, would be just to have the heating engineer come back and just commission the boiler to work off that other signal it's not been set up or commissioned to work off at the moment. And guys, if you're a electrician, technician, business owner, contractor, wanting to get into controls, automation, BMS, there's some links in the description where we can help you do that further. Career development, business growth, check the links in the description.